Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Factorio. I'm here today with...
Kernel failure.
Yeah, so what's the plan for today? What's the grand scheme of things?
Well, there's several things that are kind of pending. I believe that you're in the process of reorganizing our oil supplies.
Yes, indeed I am. I'm not reorganizing it very well, but I'm definitely doing it. And you, if I'm not mistaken, were busy tearing everything up and not putting anything back down. Is that a
Yeah, that's
fair?
about the size of it.
Yeah.
I broke our ability to make green flasks last time around, and this time I'm going to fix all of that. I've got to figure out how to ably manufacture electronic circuits again, which is a massive pain in the backside.
Um, yeah, actually, what sort of system are you going to want to put in place? Are we just going to use this big belt up here to transport all of our iron and copper, or are we going to sort of split that off and splinter it? Because
Well, I've been giving this some thought, and I think we're going to need multiple belts in of all resources. I think our existing furnace system is nowhere near big enough.
no,
The good news, however, is that we can demolish all this stuff kind of to the right of the furnaces and build
definitely.
more.
Yes, indeed.
Even power can be moved. That's no problem at all. Um, but yeah, I mean that's all to come. I think as soon as we start manufacturing blues in any level of seriousness, we're going to discover just how badly everything is organized,
Yeah.
and that will lead to us having to do some rethinking.
Well, we do need quite a lot of complex stuff for blues. I mean, we've got advanced circuits. We don't have batteries. And we don't have smart inserters yet. So
No, totally. And I think it will be a piece at a time. So we'll build the stuff that we can do without having to resort to extra resources, and then we'll figure out how to plumb those extra resources into the system as well.
yeah,
Either way, I blues are the. I mean, getting up to the construction of blue flasks is the most complex thing you have to do in the game,
uh,
simply because of the volume you need in order
research
to kind of
anything.
to kind of meet demand.
Yeah.
And um and yeah, feeding 50 furnaces, 50 research labs is a nightmare. I mean, we can just about keep up with it for greens and reds, but when it comes to blues, frankly, our chances are somewhere between slim and none. But that's the challenge we've set ourselves.
Yeah, I think it's possible as well. So it's definitely doable.
Oh,
Um,
it has to be. I mean, it may just be a case that we have to build a factory that's 8 times the size that we have currently.
yeah, I mean this we're operating on quite a small scale considering where we are at the tech tree.
Yeah,
Um,
we are indeed.
so we could probably afford to big it up a little bit. So talk me through what you're away to do.
Okay, so well, I'm going to be making belts and inserters. So
Belts
the
and
the belts
inserters.
the belts are being made here, going into the provider chest here, which is allowing a maximum storage of 10. So this is the smart buffering once again being used, and I mean actually this is the easy one. So
Yes, most definitely.
I'll belt this downwards to link up to this green manufacturing area down here.
Okay.
And then
Uh,
after doing that, I shall do the same again with inserters, which is going to be more complicated because we need these chaps, electronic circuits, and they're a pain in the bum to make, not because it's difficult, but because you need so many of them.
yeah. No, that is a real problem. How many sort of factories are you planning on having?
As many as are needed.
As
That's
many
that's
as
all
are
I can.
needed.
That's all I can say at the moment.
Oh wow, that's rather vague. Um, just as a little warning, I'm not going to move this heavy oil over here just because I can't really be bothered at the moment.
Okay.
But we've got the resources to do all the normal stuff that we need to do with oil at the moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and start processing that, so then we can get plastic up and running, because we'll need that to make advanced circuits once you've finished making basic circuits.
We certainly will, and we're going to need a lot of advanced circuits.
Well, exactly, yeah.
In my kind of full game playthrough, the one thing I noticed is that there's almost no upper limit to the number of advanced circuits that you need.
Well, that's exactly why we should probably get right on plastic production and basic circuit production, so we can go straight into feeding that into the advanced circuit.
I agree with you.
Well, oh, that is good. That is very good indeed. Um, I don't know. Like, I think it's really difficult to make oil look good, isn't it? Like,
What are the oil kind of distribution facilities? Yes.
yeah, it's really difficult. And you've mentioned this before, but it's quite a challenge to make pipes look attractive.
You need space and lots of it.
Well, that yeah,
And when you think you've laid it out with enough space, you're wrong. You need more space than that.
yeah,
Because I mean, neat in this game is what you're basically talking about is symmetrical,
yeah,
and that will come about only if you have enough kind of breathing room in order to allow things to be symmetrical. So it's because you've got so many big blocky items that get in the way when you're talking about oil production. So the refinery uses up a fair chunk of space, and then on top of that you've got individual kind of chemical plants that use up more space than really they deserve. And you're not talking about one or two. You're talking about a dozen different bits of kit that you have to have set out in order for this thing to work. So I mean, and they're all weird shapes. I mean, oil tanks you can only connect to in certain ways, and they
what the
seem
heck is that about?
hell bent on never looking tidy.
Yeah. What the heck is that about? That just seems rather ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
and that's before you, and that is before you start thinking about the general untidiness that is pipes.
oh goodness, yeah, I hate pipes. Pipes are just made of my life.
Right,
Not quite, but you get the sort of picture.
I certainly do.
What do you think we should go for? Do you think we should go for basic oil processing, or do you think we should go for advanced oil processing?
Advanced oil processing all the way. Certainly later in the game, the only thing you need is petrochem, fuel, bio, petro. What the hell? Hang on, I'm looking it up so that I can describe it properly. I mean, petroleum gas. That's the fella. That's the only thing you need. I mean, yes, you use a little bit of lubricant in making
Engines.
electric engines.
Yeah.
But this is all cracking stuff into the kind of the smaller component. So yeah, if you can make more petroleum gas in the first place, so much the better.
Yeah. Well, I shall do that, and we will use advanced oil processing, because I specifically made all the blue flasks on my person so we could unlock that.
Yeah,
And we can also crack now, which is very, very useful indeed.
that's helpful. It basically doubles our money.
Yes, exactly, it does. Because is there anything we actually need light oil for? Like,
Only in a cracking sense.
yeah, well, so no actual benefit to having it at all, really, is it?
I mean, you can turn it into solid fuel. I mean, that's not unhelpful.
I never really consider that to be a hugely essential piece of the game.
Well, I mean, it's a great replacement for coal, and I mean, at some point we're going to need either another coal mine
Or solid fuel.
or something similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's. I don't know. I'm in mixed minds about solid fuel. I mean, the amount of sort of effort that it is to go to get it is sort of like, well, just get another coal mine, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it's more that it's a waste of oil.
Yes, it is
the
as
bigger
well.
thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the oil usage that it represents is pretty kind of hectic.
Yeah. Um.
But I mean, it's decent. It's worth having a factory that a chemical plant that makes solid fuel that you can switch on if your tanks fill up. So you can turn both light oil and heavy oil into solid fuel,
Hmm.
and you'll regularly find that you can't make any more petroleum gas because your other two types of split oil are maxed out in terms of storage.
Yeah,
So being able to burn some of it off effectively and turn it into something useful in the process is no bad thing.
yeah. No, I know what you mean there. That is a good point. We're actually doing not too badly for oil production. We've got quite a lot of oil, and we're going to get more. I'm just going to keep adding to it
Okay.
because we've got the storage for it at the moment. We've got about, what's that? 16 tanks. 16 tanks, all about a third full, and
Right.
that is quite a lot of oil. And we'll start breaking that down really, really soon.
That is quite a lot of oil.
Oh, goodness me. That's annoying. That is really annoying. Okay.
What's annoying you?
The refinery, right? The order that things come out of the refinery are petroleum,
Yeah.
light oil, heavy oil. I've put the tanks
You've got
heavy oil
quite.
at the top, light
Yeah.
oil in the middle,
Yeah.
and petroleum at the bottom.
Turn your refinery around the other way.
What?
If you rotate the refinery,
No, I think
yeah,
I'll just pump the oil down. I think
okay, fair enough.
I'll save on pipes, and it'll look a heck of a lot nicer as well if I do it like
Right,
that.
you are.
Um, yeah, and who doesn't like it to look tidy and nice? That's
Only mad people.
pretty much a dream. There we go. Perfect. And that actually works. So that is surprising and encouraging. Oh, I need a heck of a lot more iron. I'm pretty happy with the way that our sort of smart factory is working, though, isn't it? It's pretty good.
It's coming on, and I mean the benefits that we're getting from power alone are pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. Um,
But equally, I mean, the ironic thing is that if we hadn't smartened stuff up, the only thing we'd be noticing is that we'd have a hell of a lot more stuff stored on belts.
yeah, and that's yeah, yeah. No, I see what you mean there. And it's fine that we don't, but it's good that we're sort of saving on those on the power as well, which is
Yeah,
pretty vital considering we're running all electric furnaces
indeed.
because we did beeline straight for them.
It's the only way to go. I
It
mean,
is the
you
only way to
can
go.
you can do stuff off the steel furnace, so the top end of the burn stuff to make stuff. That you can certainly do that, but then you're back into another coal and heavy oil and wood burning discussion.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So it's good that we've got what we need because it future proofs us as well. To a point. I mean, we don't need to sort of worry about dealing with furnaces ever
Right.
again or upgrading them. They're just going to be there when we need them. Unless we need to improve them, obviously, which is going to happen, or improve
Right.
the layout.
No, I'm with you.
But yeah, apart from that, everything is going smoothly in terms of oil up here, and yeah, are we gonna want to crack straight away? Do you think, or are we gonna sort of rely on our crude oil deposits to sort of provide us with the appropriate amount of petroleum
The
gas?
sooner you crack, the longer that crude oil will last.
Yeah, so you just want me to go straight into cracking, not sort
Yeah.
of save up the light and heavy oil.
No, I mean, it's. I will. I'm going to leave it to your discretion. To be honest, I mean, effectively, we know exactly what we need, and in the near future, we're going to need a hell of a lot more plastic, and a whole bunch of batteries. Those are the two things that are going to be focusing your mind in an oil situation.
Oh goodness, yes.
So basically, as long as you're ramping up production in that fashion,
Hmm.
then we're golden.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you raise a valuable point. As long as it gets done, it doesn't really matter how it works.
Precisely.
Yeah, and I shall definitely do that. So we pretty much exclusively want petroleum. Is that the case?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the one that we're going to use far more than anything else. We need a little bit of heavy oil for making lubricant, But to be honest, the runoff will take care of that.
Well, exactly. I mean, what's the ratio of oil production? It's one heavy oil, 4.5 light oil, and 5.5
Yeah,
petroleum, and which is good as well because it means we can crack the light oil directly into petroleum rather than cracking the heavy oil. We can just
right.
keep the heavy oil, and that's a heck of a lot less work
It
as well,
is.
and less space to be used up, which is lovely, and very time consuming, which is also a nice little boost. I quite like this little oil production area up here. I I sort of
Well,
wanted
if you're taking pride in your work, there's nothing wrong with that.
it looks pretty good, and it allows us to sort of scale things up if we need to. We've got plenty of space around here, and we can distribute stuff. How's your build going? Oh wow,
It's going all right. I'm not certain whether I've got it exactly how I want it yet,
this looks awesome.
but it's coming along.
So you've got two copper wire factories
Three circuit factories.
feeding three circuit factories. Is that the appropriate ratio?
Yeah, apparently so.
Is it?
And if it's not exactly spot on, it's close.
Yeah, which is what's important, really.
I mean, the main thing is that you're feeding enough copper in the first place
Continually produce.
to continually produce. And
Yeah.
because copper splits, I think copper splits 2 to 1 copper wire. Then this should do the job. Forgive the incredibly ugly power line arrangement. I'll switch these for substations at some point.
Ooh, what you switching for substations? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. All this power distribution rubbish.
Yeah. What's is
So
it 16 by
these
16 for a substation? Sorry. Yeah, I'll check. It's okay.
16 by 16. No, it's not that big.
It was quite big. I can't remember what it was. We haven't unlocked it yet.
No,
No, sorry.
we're
What were you saying?
we're waiting for blues for that. I don't know, what was I saying? Oh, I was talking some stuff there. Oh yeah, this is also ready smartified as well. So I've set all these smart inserters up to only retrieve the goodies. So it's iron in this case. So they're only going to pick out iron when we've got over 100 circuits stored, which is unlikely to ever happen.
Yes. No, I get that.
Equally, so I'm going to change your. In fact, I might shred and change the advanced circuit production as well,
Please do.
because we'll want a bit more than that, and I want to make sure that we're actually fulfilling the demand side of the equation.
I think it is one. It's one copper factory for 4 advanced circuits. I think.
Okay.
It's either 4 or 5. I can't recall. So I think that's why I placed a 5th.
Okay.
Um,
Well, two into 3 ought to do the trick, so that should be okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I think we'll call it there. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, then please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.